Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today, we are going to give you 10 WWE docs every fan should own. So this isn't the 10 best of all time, but this would be, 11 through 20, because these are, some of the best docs WWE has ever done. And I would say, if you don't own these 10, go out and pick them up. So before we get into it, subscribe to the channel. Also, I'm going to post a link to the video we did a while back, which was top 10 must-have docs. Fairly similar to this, but it's another top 10 DVD list, so be sure to check that DVD list out as well. So let's get right into it, guys. If a DVD didn't make the list today, it might be on the top 10 all-time list, which I will do over the weekend. Today is Friday. I will do the top 10 DVDs over the weekend. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let's get into it with number 10. Eric Bischoff, sports entertainment's most controversial figure. A couple of these were released over the past few years, but some of them are some older DVDs. Eric Bischoff being the top man in WCW for 7 or 8 years there through the mid to late 90s. This is a great watch. Highly recommend you guys pick that up. I can't agree with everything Eric Bischoff says or does, but I can definitely appreciate his mindset from back in the day to, wanting to be the number one company in the wrestling business and doing almost anything he could. With an open checkbook, you have so much power to, sign any wrestler you want. And he did it with Hogan and Savage and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And he also did it to keep guys under his roster. Guys like Sting and Luger, the Steiners, the Road Warriors. And I think this Eric Bischoff DVD is definitely worth the money. Number 9. I enjoyed this one pretty much, and it's got a lot of older stuff on it. It's Good to Be King, the Jerry Lawler story. Now, Jerry Lawler, for a lot of people, is just known for, being the commentator on Monday Night Raw or different things like that. But Jerry Lawler was actually a very good wrestler throughout the 80s and into the 90s. Jerry Lawler is a guy that was, a 5-tool player. Great on the mic, great in the ring. Jerry Lawler was the promoter down in Memphis for several years. Him and Jerry Jarrett, they ran the Mid-South Wrestling. Number 8. This is probably a personal favorite of mine, and we do have a couple of those on this list. That is Breaking the Code, Behind the Walls of Chris Jericho. Comes with an awesome slipcover, nice and shiny there. It's got 19 of his greatest matches, and this was released in 2010. So it was kind of weird that we got a Jericho documentary that long ago. But I do think it still is very good. Jericho has done a lot since then, but that was kind of, the end of his career. Now he's, become more of a part-timer doing the, partial years, come back for a while, go with Fozzy, do this, do that. Number 7 on the list here today. Pretty sad story. That is Always Believe, the Ultimate Warrior DVD that was released a few years ago, and I've always liked Ultimate Warrior. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Warrior, but I can really, appreciate a guy like this. And he's pretty much a straight shooter. You see a guy like the Ultimate Warrior shoot interviews and things like that, he'll tell you like it is. He had that feud with Hulk Hogan a while back, and he buried Hogan. Straight up, he buried Hogan. It's a sad story because I believe it was in production, and then the night after WrestleMania 30, or a couple of days after his Hall of Fame speech, Ultimate Warrior sadly passed away. Number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. This DVD is fantastic. What more could you ask for from a guy that ran ECW than to tell his life story from becoming a photographer when he was very, very young and sneaking into the booking meetings with Dusty Rhodes, and I always liked that Paul Heyman doc. Very, very underrated. I think a lot of people like it. It's just there's so many other great DVDs. It kind of does get lost in the shuffle along the way. Now we're getting into the top 5 DVDs every fan should own. Number 5. Another personal favorite of mine here is going to be Life and Times of Mr. Perfect. Man, Kurt Hennig was a awesome wrestler. Another 5-tool player. And then check that out, man. The perfect plex of Bam Bam Bigelow. So, Mr. Perfect, The Life and Times of Mr. Perfect. I couldn't recommend this DVD enough. Mr. Perfect is a guy that, will be remembered for, pulling all his pranks and everything like that. Trying to get this glare off of here. So, number 4. I mean, these DVDs are really in no order, guys. But number 4, the true story of WrestleMania. I absolutely love this DVD. It sucks the Survivor Series was such a letdown when this DVD exceeded all expectations. And I mean, when you're gonna tell the story about a wrestling event, I think it really should be modeled after this. Going, step by step, how it was created, the initial steps and procedures, and going through almost each and every WrestleMania up until the point of this DVD, which I think it was released around WrestleMania 25 or 26. Next up here we got the Road Warriors. The life and death of the most dominant tag team of history. Another pretty sad wrestling documentary. The Road Warriors have been so dominant through the 80s and into the 90s. They'll definitely go down in history as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. 2 more here. The Monday Night War. This is a DVD that was made almost 15 years ago now, and I think it still holds up. Yeah, we got the series, Monday Night War series, but I think this is still a pretty good documentary going through a lot of stuff that happened throughout the Monday Night Wars. Personally, I do like the series a lot better, but I think this is a documentary every fan should own. And last but not least is Cheating Death, Stealing Life. the Eddie Guerrero story. Man, this is a DVD that'll make you cry. And that's probably another great list I can come up with is, man, Eddie was so good, so talented. I really think about that all the time and what Eddie Guerrero might have been doing if he was around today. It's such a sad story when you think about all the guys here that we've lost over the years, from Mr. Perfect and Eddie, and so many great legends. So there we have it, guys. 10 DVDs every fan should own. I'll probably upload the top 10 DVDs of all time throughout the weekend, and maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll do the 10 personal favorite DVDs, because I know some of them aren't the best, but I personally enjoyed them. So let me know what you guys think. Take some time, subscribe. We'll talk to you later. Peace.